Chapel Hill firm. Next, we will hear from Kevin McGreer, who's running for trustee as well. Kevin?
Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. How are you today? I first want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Didn't realize we were going to have this many people out. And a lot of you I know. I've been around canvassing for the last 5 weeks. And some of you I've known for many years, being in the town of Broadview. I've been here for 28 years myself. I moved here with my family in 1982. And growing up in Broadview, I played softball, I played Pony League baseball. I swam at the Schroeder Park when it was very active. I worked in public works when it was actually public works. Some of you remember back a while ago when we used to have a functioning public works prior to our current administration tearing it to parks. And right now I'm embarrassed with our public works, with our police department, our fire department, etc. But let me first tell you a little bit about myself. I went to Walt Disney Magnet School for grammar school, and I also went to Whitney Young Magnet High School, in which I graduated in 1984. Went to Triton Community College, studied business administration, and I furthered my education while on the job. I worked for CHA, Chicago Housing Authority, and I have managed small villages myself, such as Stateway Gardens, Robert Taylor Homes, Henry Horner Homes. And some of these budgets that I've managed and put together are tenfold the size of Broadview's budget. So as far as qualifications and my background is in finance, management, housing, and public service. So I come to you very qualified as a trustee, running for trustee, and I really, really want your support and know that you have a good candidate for that position. I apologize for kind of sounding under the weather right now. I've been out here every day, knocking on your doors, bothering you during your dinners, letting you know that the Broadview Tea Party is out here for you. Let me just say one thing. I've been canvassing and campaigning, and I sit down at the table at the end of the day and I write down all of the things that I notice that are wrong with Broadview. And I bet some of the same things I have on this list are some of the things that you guys have seen too. So let me just read a couple of things for you. Okay, we're not going to go through this whole list. I realize we don't have time, but I'm going to read a couple of them. And what I want you to do is join in with me. If we're on the same page, I want to read something, and then I'm going to hold the mic for you guys to tell me if you agree. So let's practice real quick. Understaffed police and fire departments. What I want you to do, if you agree with me, is say, let's change that. So let's start now. Understaffed police and fire department.
Let's change that.
Now, I have a microphone. I'm only one person, but I know all of you all outdrown me. Come on, let me hear you. Higher taxes with fewer services.
Let's change that.
Mismanaged public works department.
Let's change that.
Unnecessary, unsettled lawsuits.
Let's change that.
Unplowed, unsalted streets.
Let's change that.
Remember when I was talking about the public works department that used to function? We can't function with an undermanaged budget. When we have mismanaged budget, mismanaged spending, we can't purchase the salt to put down on the streets. We can't hire for overtime when the snow hits and then we have to get these streets salted and plowed. So let's change that. Potholes everywhere.
Let's change that.
Thank you. Clogged sewer and drains.
Let's change that.
A suffering business strip along Roosevelt Road.
Let's change that.
Inactive Chamber of Commerce.
Let's change that.
Lack of transparency in our government.
Let's change that.
Okay, and I got two more that I want to concentrate on and talk a little bit about. We're going to forget this list for now. We'll handle this later.
Okay.
But a lack of community involvement. And I look out here and I look at all of you all, and I blame you. And I blame myself because I made the mistake 4 years ago, the same mistake that I made 8 years ago in voting for our current administration. And if you all will agree that we all made that mistake, let's not make that same mistake again this year. April 7th, let's get together and change this community. Let's get involved. Come out to your town hall meetings. Ask questions. Come out to your village meetings. Support your schools and your park district. We have a lot of good programs going on at Broadview. We want to increase those programs. With proper funding, cooperation, we can get there together as a team, as a village, as a community. Last thing I want to speak on is lack of community cohesiveness. Now look around. I bet you guys, I can point to probably half of the people in this room, and half of you don't even know 5 neighbors on your block. Am I right? I'm guilty of that too. And until this campaign, I really didn't realize how bad it was that we didn't know our own neighbors. So let's take a minute, and if you go to church, if you're familiar with church, we do this at church all the time. Let's take a minute to look next to you, to someone that you don't know. Let's take a 5-second brief introduction to yourself and meet somebody that you don't know. Go ahead and introduce yourself. All right, now, everyone in this room now has a head start and a jump start on the rest of Broadview. Let's keep this going. Let's keep the community cohesiveness going. Let's be involved as residents and the community. And now that I know we're all on the same page, let's change Broadview together. I feel very comfortable in asking for your vote and support on April 7th. Kevin McGreer for trustee, punch 43. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.